You're listening to the Geek Watch Podcast, Episode 2, with your host, Brian J. Hatcher and Tony Slack. Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to the Geek Watch Podcast. My name is Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Tony Slack.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, Tony. So, All right, so what you been geeking out over this week?
I would say my number one thing would have to be Alien Covenant.
Oh, yes.
I am a huge Alien fan, and this looks like it might be taking us back to the creepiness of the original.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what, I've really enjoyed... you saw a lot of this in Prometheus, and they're bringing it, of course... into the marketing for Alien Covenant is a lot of the viral markeing. You know, a lot of the little short films they're doing. I mean,
the prologue.
The prologue and well, there's like a couple of them. You have one with the crew.
Yeah, I think it's called the Last Supper or the Supper.
Yes,
but it has James Franco in it as apparently the captain that we're seeing nothing about in the typical trailers. So my guess is James Franco might be in this movie for about 6 full minutes.
Yeah, James Franco gets smoked or something.
Yeah, something's going on there. Maybe he just, maybe he does a line and just kills himself early before he even meets the aliens. I don't know, but...
oh, yeah, and then, of course, we have that, we have the scene, the two people, the last two people to survive out of Prometheus.
Yeah, David and... I forget her name right now.
But, you kind of get an idea of what happened. Dr. Shaw.
Yeah.
You get that feeling what happens to them right after they, they leave, trying to find the founders, go back, trying to find the founders' home planet. So.
Yeah, and that's a big deal to me. I want to know where they go. I don't want to just roll into the next movie without saying, hey, this is where David went, because David's a douche. And I'm afraid he's going to screw Dr. Shaw all over.
But this is very possible.
But at the same time, I'm like, maybe he won't. Maybe through what he's seen and through losing his maker from the last movie, maybe he's looking at it and thinking, maybe I should give this humanity thing a chance.
Yeah, well,
so, you don't know.
Or either that, or he's got a whole new crew of people he's going to wind up screwing over.
Oh yeah, I mean, who knows? But apparently we're going to see Fassbender in 2 roles in this movie.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, we've got actually David from the original film, and then we've got a newer character that I can't remember his name right now, but he's a pretty much from that same line of androids.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure their initiatives are probably shared.
Yeah, probably so.
Which is probably screw humanity.
Yeah. Well, there's. I mean, I think in all the Alien films, was there only really been one android that you felt like you could trust, and he was sort of like a red herring in Aliens.
Yeah, Bishop.
Bishop. Yeah. He was sort of a red herring in all this, because you're like, can we trust him? Can we trust him? And you find out, you can trust them. They're not all. The corporation hasn't stuck their fingers in all of them.
Yeah, well, when you think about with Bishop at the end, when he really redeemed himself, it wasn't even when he landed to save Ripley and Newt.
Yeah.
At the last moment, it was when a torn in half Bishop was getting ready to get sucked out of the ship, and he grabbed a hold of Newt and saved her.
Yeah.
Because at that point, he was like, okay, he's worried about this little girl. He's more than just a android that I'm going to question at this point. He's literally caring about the characters that we care about.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but the androids, for the most part in the Alien series, they in a sense they're sort of that stand-in for the evil corporation. So. But yeah, I'm definitely, and of course that's coming out this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I was a fan of Prometheus. I know not everybody liked it. It was pretty heavy, deep stuff.
Oh yeah, and I had to watch it twice at home after seeing it in theaters to convince me. But my only problem with that movie after watching it at home would have to be when what's her name, the blonde chick, the captain.
Oh, the captain. Yes.
Yeah. Oh shoot, what's her name now?
I know.
I can't remember. But she's running from the ship as it's falling and rolling toward her, and I'm just like, run to the left or the right, get out of the way.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people said that, so you weren't the only one to say that. So, yeah. So definitely we'll be checking it out this weekend, and I'm sure we'll have something to say about it next week when we're back here recording. So we'll see what. Well, hopefully it's going to be a good movie. I'm I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It's one of the ones I'm looking most forward to this summer. I mean, it's got that. I mean, Ridley Scott's back. If anybody's going to redeem some of the poor choices we've seen with Alien, especially the Aliens versus Predator crap that we had to deal with,
well,
I mean, that's a whole different ball game. But it's just the fact that this is Ridley Scott's creation in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Alien, we love Aliens, although I think that was James Cameron.
Yeah.
But still, those two movies were a perfect set. Prometheus kind of gave me that flavor, but I've got a feeling Alien Covenant's going to just kick us right in the pants.
Well, hopefully it will be a return to form, because I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it, and of course, we wish it the best luck, and I'm just, like I said, I got my hopes up. So.
And Danny McBride.
I
mean, a total straight up comedic actor.
Oh yeah,
is pretty much leading. I think his character's name is going to be Tennessee, and I'm like, let's see what this guy can do, because apparently he's always wanted to get in the horror genre.
Oh
so
yeah,
here we go.
Well, yeah, and I think this could be a chance for him to really show what he can do as an actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
He can really kind of stretch his stretch himself, and so I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, so what else you've been into this week that you're really liking?
Oh, how about X-Men's new series on Fox, The Gifted?
Oh yes, I did see the trailer for that.
Yeah.
It looks good. I will say this: when I first saw it, something in the back of my head said, "Man, this seems familiar," and I was like, "Wow, this setup is a lot like Heroes." And as I started to go online, I noticed that some other people kind of got the same feeling about it. But that doesn't, to be honest, that doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, I liked Heroes for a while, and so we're not going to get any more of that. So, if we kind of get that, if this show's as good as Heroes, I'm not going to have a problem with it. Is this? I'm trying to remember what station is this one going to be on?
It's going to be on Fox.
It's going to be on
Fox.
Yeah,
and Fox actually has X-Men. And another big thing is we've got Bryan Singer at the helm,
right?
Who's done some wonderful work with the X-Men franchise.
Yeah.
So it's got everything that it needs in my book to make it a success.
Yeah.
But it still worries me a little bit for some reason. I just...
Well, here's the thing. You've got, and I'm trying to remember what his name is, but he used to be in charge of the entire. It's not Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige actually worked underneath of him, but he was in charge of the full television and the movie side of Marvel. This was the guy that it was like he was the guy that was counting cans of soda. He was quite the bean counter, and Kevin Feige was able basically to get out from under him and run the movie side, the cinematic universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe from the movie side, the way that he felt like he needed to do.
Yeah.
And which is, so, and of course you can see he's, been able to do a lot with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But this gentleman has been, and again, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he's still running the television portion of things. And there's been a lot of good television, don't get me wrong, but they've been making some really weird choices recently.
Yeah.
It's like they have all these properties coming out, and they're coming out in all these different channels. And some of these channels are like, you're sitting there wondering, where the heck am I going to watch this?
Yeah, like Cloak and Dagger is going to be on Freeform.
Freeform? What the heck is Freeform?
Yeah, it used to be ABC Family. So, that's owned by Disney.
Yeah, I mean...
So, but still, it's not too mainstream, and it makes me wonder, Netflix, very popular.
Yeah.
We know what we got going on with Daredevil and the rest of those guys.
Right.
But Freeform, it just seems so out there, but apparently we're still going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a little piece of it.
Yeah, it just seems like they're diffusing their properties. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but... I mean, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, and the big thing is the Gifted. It's got a hell of a cast. I mean,
Oh,
Amy
yeah.
Acker, if you're familiar, if anyone out there is familiar with Angel.
Angel, yeah,
And she was
exactly.
Fred,
And then she was
Illyria.
and Illyria
Yeah.
the demon. So,
So yeah, she's awesome. Stephen Moyer. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's Bill Compton from True Blood. So I think a lot of people will relate to that actor, and
Oh, yeah.
it'll be a reason to get a little draw in the beginning. But it's obvious from the trailer we're seeing they are even making mentions of the Brotherhood and the X-Men.
right.
So I think the show's going to have that feel that we're in that world with Charles Xavier and the rest.
Oh, yeah.
But will we ever see them or touch base with those characters? Who knows?
Yeah, well, the other thing too is that this show, Gifted, it's not really the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, they're Marvel characters, but now that mutants have kind of with Fox, mutants have kind of drifted off into their own thing, and they're in their own world basically. So it's not exactly the same thing as, like I said, the cinematic with the cinematic universe and that sort of thing. Although, who knows, maybe, especially with Spider-Man Homecoming, if it does well, maybe Fox will say, hey, a partnership with Marvel might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe the Fantastic Four should show up at the Stark Tower.
Yeah. Yeah. Or some version of it that's
Yeah.
not what we've gotten in the past. So.
Yeah. Oh Lord, no.
So, but what can you do? So, but I tell you what I've been really into. I've really been watching a lot of good television, and the two shows right now that television-wise that I've really been into, of course, is Doctor Who.
Uh-huh.
I've been watching this last season of Doctor Who. I know that you don't watch Doctor Who, so a great deal. For me, it's been really interesting watching this last season of Doctor Who because we know that we're about ready to lose Peter Capaldi as the Doctor.
Okay.
I think pretty much anybody who's listening, if they know Doctor Who, they know that it's set up that the main character, that different actors play the main character. Whenever there's a situation where the character dies off, they regenerate into a new actor, which allows them to, you have a core idea of what this character is, but actors can kind of bring their own thing to it.
Yeah,
So
their own flavor to the
flavor to it. So we know that Peter Capaldi's leaving. We also know that Stephen Moffat, who's been the showrunner for the show for the last, I want to say, 4 years.
Oh wow.
5 years,
Okay.
actually. Last 5 years, he's going to be leaving, and he's going to be replaced. And so, for a real sense, we have everybody's like sort of well, they're pulling the stops out because this is their last hurrah, basically.
Okay.
And I've really been enjoying what they've been doing, especially this last episode. The name of the episode, Oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is something that they've started really doing with New Who back when they brought it back to television.
Yeah.
Which is in the older series, there was a lot of danger and that sort of thing, but you didn't really have those moments of like real world problems in Doctor Who like you do now. And especially with this last episode, there was this moment that, and I don't want to really talk about it in case people who are listening haven't seen the episode yet, but we're talking like real world problems, a situation where it wasn't wrapped up in a nice tight little bow at the end of the episode. I mean, something really bad happened, and it's going to affect the characters for probably at least the rest of the series.
Oh wow.
And so, I mean, it was a surprise because it's one of those moments that you kind of expect. Okay, well, and they even kind of hinted, "Don't worry, we'll fix this by the end of the episode." And then by the end of the episode, you find out, no, they're not. They're not going to fix this.
A little bit more in the cement, huh?
It's a little bit more in the cement. It's a situation where it's like, it's like it just hammers home the fact that there's real danger doing the things that the Doctor and his companions do.
Okay.
And that there are real consequences to doing this type of thing.
Okay.
So it's made me really interested to see where they're going to take the series at this point, because like I said, they've made a major change to the character of the Doctor himself because of what's happened. And so again, I'm going to be really interested to see how that plays out toward the end of the series.
That's cool. Yeah, because honestly, the only thing I can tell you about Doctor Who is he has a dog named K9. At least he did back in the 1980s.
That's right.
And he wore a cool scarf and a cool hat.
Oh yeah.
But,
well, you know, I have one of those scarves. As a matter of fact, I'm a big fan of Tom Baker, and of course that's where I first started watching Doctor Who many years ago.
I kind of made it through that series, and I watched all of it, and then kind of just lost track of it. And now I'm just waiting to see if Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, becomes the next Doctor.
I guess we'll know by Christmas.
What would that do to the fans? I mean, I'm just giving you an insane scenario.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll know by the Christmas episode. We're supposed to know who, by then we'll definitely know who it is. So
it will not be Dwayne Johnson.
Well, anything is possible.
Well, yeah, anything is possible. I could win $1 million on Powerball.
Yeah, there you go.
Or tomorrow night.
Well, the thing is, he'll probably be a British or Scottish actor. Well, I'll say that, and it might be he, and it might be she.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's possible too. And there's been a lot of talk about, it's time that we had a female doctor.
Yeah.
And people are really pushing for it, and we'll see. I mean, I certainly don't have a problem.
More
with that.
power to him. I mean, I do know that's the gist of the character, that when he passes on and you get a new one, I take it was never written in stone that it has to be a British male actor taking over that role. So hey, it'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll see how that goes. Of course, the other show I've been watching a lot recently has been American Gods.
Oh God,
I enjoy the heck out of that show.
Yeah, 3 episodes in, and I'm still, as a person that has not read the books, like, where are we going? Because these are not good places.
Yeah, exactly. And as somebody who has read the book, I've been really impressed with how close they've been staying with the book.
Yeah.
Especially some of the scenes, definitely. Yeah. I do have to admit, there in the last in last Sunday's episode, there was a moment that surprised me. I'll say it, and again, I don't want to go into too much detail, and because this is kind of a family-friendly show,
our show, not American Gods.
American show, exactly. Ours is family-friendly. Well, that's something that I find humorous is, of course, they always pop up the warning at the beginning, and they always mention brief nudity, and I laugh at that, going, apparently your idea of brief and mine is a little bit different.
I don't know what else we could show to make it worse than what we saw this past Sunday.
Well, the thing is, last Sunday there was a moment where there was a very an extended gay sex scene.
Yeah, very sexually explicit.
Very sexual. I mean, it was. There wasn't the suggestion that this happened. It happened, and we saw it happen.
I'm pretty sure there was a lightweight percentage that said enough's enough, and they said, I'm not watching this.
Well, that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
Me personally, I didn't have a problem with the scene.
Oh, I didn't either. It was, it's part of the story, and I think it's one of the most beautifully produced shows I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It very much reminds me of like the first Sin City as far as what it looks like on screen. I mean, alone.
Well, here's the thing, and the reason I bring this up is because, and I think I mentioned this the last time, is that we are really living in the second golden age of television. Mm-hmm. But this scene, the reason this scene I was thinking about this scene specifically is because, I mean, back in and not even that long ago, television was where you kind of had to pull back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Movies were the place where you could kind of explore certain subjects.
Yeah, it's kind of came full circle now.
Well, it's definitely it's flipped over, because here's the thing. That scene, if you'd have put it in a movie, it would automatically have been NC-17. And since Hollywood at this point is so scared of NC-17, they never.
No.
The thing about it wouldn't have gotten past the page where they saw sex scene with a Muslim. That would have, with Muslim male. Yeah. Muslim male gay sex scene. Forget it. It's done.
No, that's not happening.
It's not going to happen. They would. That's it. Not even as suggested that it happened.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gone there. They wouldn't have risked the NC-17. I mean,
but what did Stars do?
Yeah, well, the thing is, and it's not just the only scene that I would say would if it were in a movie.
Yeah, and the thing is with me that has not even been the most disturbing sex scenes for me.
Oh yeah,
the stuff that we saw in the first two episodes.
Oh
with
yes,
the shrinking
Bilquis. Yeah.
yeah, those scenes they're almost like nightmarish disturbing to me. Like I do not like seeing a person shrink like that so naturally, and
then
when you realize where they go, you're
yeah,
like,
it's pretty bad.
That's not a good thing.
It's pretty it's pretty spooky. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's kind of again, you're in a situation with television where you have more time to tell a story, but they seem to have this ability to go places where movies can't go anymore, which I just find odd.
Yeah, and there's so many series at this point that I just wish television would take over, whether it be Starz, Amazon, Netflix. I mean,
Yeah.
the Gunslinger series, I would love to see that transpire into more than just a movie. There's so much material there.
Oh, yeah.
The Stand.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There was a rumor for a while that was going to be something that rolled from the movies just like Gunslinger and then back to television, possibly HBO.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you've read The Stand, especially the longer version, the original version, there is so much that there's no way that theaters would allow that to be played in their movie houses.
Exactly.
You would have to show this in
Yeah.
a format like American Gods.
Well, and that's what I find interesting is that television now seems to be the place where if you want to tell different types of stories and you want to spend some time developing character and telling these epic tales, that television's where you go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, let's just be honest. Game of Thrones movie.
What could you do in 2 hours? I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without just basically gutting the story, what could you do? Game of Thrones doesn't work to me. It's not interesting to me unless we go HBO and you have several seasons of being able to tell this story. I think that's what makes it good.
Oh yeah, a movie would just chop it up. I mean,
exactly.
you would see the best scenes, but you would never see the story behind the story that worked it up to that epic moment. I mean,
you couldn't possibly invest in the characters as much as you do watching it on HBO.
Oh no way.
So again, I do feel in a real sense, and for a bunch of different reasons, but certainly for what we've been talking about today, that we are really in the second golden age of television.
Oh yeah,
so.
they're just like I said, there's so much out there that I think is to come. I mean, there's so many books. I mean, you think about so many great books out there and these epic stories where even Harry Potter at this point, if they wanted to redo that, and which I've heard they do want to eventually redo it.
Yeah,
I would almost like to see it as a TV series more than a movie. We've seen the movies.
Oh yeah,
and it's not like they've got to be risky with it, but it's just because a series can just go so much more in depth with your characters and make you feel so much more for them.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about it is Harry Potter, at least, I mean, the movies, you basically had a series of movies.
Yeah, a book per movie.
Yeah, a book per,
Except for the last two, I guess they split that.
They had to split because those books were getting longer and longer, and you kind of had to split it, which I totally get.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just seems like, as far as good storytelling and good sustained storytelling, television is. There's nothing really that holds you back that you have to sacrifice by not doing a movie. I mean, the budget's certainly not. I mean, the budgets are there, and in some cases even bigger than some movies.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones. I mean, one of the biggest reasons it's got held back for so long on this next season is the fact that the amount of money they put into the CGI, which you have to have it. We've got these beautiful dragons. We've got the White Walkers. We don't want to see cheese on screen, and they're not going to give us cheese. We're going to see the same quality that we saw with Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's going to be no doubt that they've put some serious bank into this next season.
Oh yeah, so definitely it's definitely going to be something to see, no doubt. Well, I'll tell you what, we got a few moments left for the podcast, and I was kind of leery of even bringing this topic up because this is going to be this is our second show.
Yeah. And
once again, I'm going to be talking negatively about Warner Brothers and DC, and I was like, I don't want people to get the idea that all I want to do is kind of trash talk DC, but especially with some of the stuff that's been coming out in the press today, I feel like I kind of have to. I feel like I want to address some things that that have worried me, because this has been this has been a rough week.
Yeah, see, and I haven't really picked up my phone for much this week, so I'm on
Well,
the surprise end of this one.
Yeah, so basically, here's over the last week there have been 3 things that have happened that have made me really worried about Warner Brothers, DC, and their cinematic universe franchise.
Okay.
The first one, not that big a deal, but there was and I won't mention the news outlet there was a news report on YouTube about basically it was saying that Henry Cavill posted some pictures on Instagram. He went to a museum that had some DC stuff, and he took a picture of himself next to a poster which was a cover of a Green Lantern comic book.
Okay.
And basically the lead into this story, the title of the video was, did Henry Cavill leak a plot point in Justice League? In other words, what they were saying was, does this picture mean that there's going to be a Green Lantern in Justice League? Now, maybe that's the case, but it's kind of flimsy. It's kind of flimsy to post that, and even they admitted when they were posted, it's like, look, we don't know if that's for sure.
Yeah, but he might be a huge Green Lantern fan.
Yeah, well, he was, it was a pretty impressive looking picture, and he was all, I'm sure he took a bunch of pictures. He did. He took a bunch of pictures in this museum, and that was just one of them that he posted. But it's kind of worrisome when news outlets are making up news about your movie when you should be giving them something to report, to keep them excited. I mean,
that's real and solid.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. People are really excited about this Thor movie, and they're not making up news about Thor. They're just reporting what there is. And it's like, especially when you're in a situation that news outlets, geek news outlets, are willing to keep the excitement going, are willing to kind of fudge some news just so they have something to talk about. Give them something to talk about, I would think.
And honestly, you got to think, is Superman even going to be in Justice League? I mean, he died in the last movie, right?
Well, yeah, he did.
I'm dying to know, is Superman going to be back?
He's like, yeah, because it's like, it's pretty much, that's going to happen. So
what?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm sorry, did I spoil that for you?
Spoiler alert.
Oh, spoilers.
I thought he was dead. I thought that was it. I was like, Warner Brothers got rid of their cash cow.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if they basically kill off one of their main characters for such a low payoff, why would they not bring him back for such a low payoff?
I never thought about it that way, Brian.
Exactly. Well, it's because I'm an old, bitter man.
Oh, that's okay.
But here's the second thing. Over this weekend, Warner Brothers released the new King Arthur film, and it didn't do so good.
Yeah, I heard that.
It did maybe 40 million worldwide. Is like 14 million.
Oh, wow.
14 million domestically.
Yeah. I kind of had a feeling that was coming, though.
Well, they didn't really advertise it very well.
No, they didn't.
But the thing about it is, I'm not saying that people are going to see that movie and go, well, that sucks. Well, Justice League's not going to be any good, so I'm not going to go watch that either. I mean, I think the average film viewer is not going to take that away from it. But what worries,
I don't even think the average film viewer even realizes what movies are associated with Warner Brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's not what worries me. What worries me is Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Because Warner Brothers, every time they find themselves in the situation where a movie kind of tanks on them, they always do the one thing you should never do, which is they double down on doing the stuff that got them in that problem in the first place. Oh, it's like they shoot themselves in the foot and they go, what the problem is? We just didn't have a large enough caliber bullet.
How?
And that's the thing. I'm just so worried that
you're so going to overthink it.
Yeah, they're gonna overthink the films that they've got going. And although it just seems like they really aren't putting a whole lot into Wonder Woman. No. Wonder Woman's their side chick, and Wonder Woman should not be your side chick.
No, she's in the Trinity of the Justice League.
Exactly, she's such an important, and it and again, I'm not the only one saying this. I mean, it's been reported. A lot of people are wondering, why is Wonder Woman not getting the ads? Why are they not promoting this film as heavily as a lot of other films?
Well, you go back to Batman versus Superman. They
Yeah.
wore that out on everything. Now,
They did.
I am seeing like Wonder Woman on Dr. Pepper cans and
Yeah.
those type of things. But at the same time, maybe they should release like a prologue video, something to connect us to everything that's going on in her future world.
Get us excited about this film. I
Yeah.
should be absolutely excited about Wonder Woman. It doesn't seem like they're. I mean, Warner Brothers in some aspects, I noticed that when it comes to ads, they tend to be a little bit stingy, which is
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm really not seeing this development. And But again, I'm just worried that. I mean, they're going to take a huge loss with this movie.
Oh, this would be horrible, and
Oh, yeah.
it would make me so mad because I mean, this is one of those movies that I've wanted to see for 20 years. I've wanted to see Wonder Woman live action.
Oh, yeah.
And Batman Superman didn't give me what I wanted. I want to see a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
And if they fail, and by fail standards, I don't mean my own standards.
Yeah.
I mean by the fans' standards. You know.
Yeah.
The proof will be in the pudding.
You're a fan.
Yeah.
You're a fan, so you count, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see the best out of it, definitely. But again, with the big loss that they're taking from this King Arthur movie, if they just go into panic mode and they start kind of fouling things up, that really it worries me. It really does worry me. But here's the thing. That's the second thing. The third thing that really has me worried was something that came out today. Something that was reported today, which is and it was a smaller outlet that reported this, and of course a lot of the other news outlets, larger news outlets, of course, they just grabbed it and ran with it. And I want to say right off the bat, I do not know if this is true. This could be complete conjecture, rumor. I just know that one news outlet reported it, and a lot of other news outlets, of course, are picking it up and running with it.
Okay.
But apparently, an unnamed source inside of Warner Brothers has said that there have been massive reshoots for the Justice League movie. To a point where they have literally remade this film twice.
Yeah, if that's true. That's not good. I mean,
well, here's the thing. First of all, I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in Warner Brothers, and believe me, I know how bad news travels.
yeah,
Secondly, to be honest, reshoots are not that big a deal in Hollywood. Every movie goes through reshoots, and sometimes they go through major reshoots, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Look, if your movie sucks, do the damn
Yeah.
reshoots. You need them.
yeah,
But what worries me about this is that since this is being reported, there's just this cloud now over the fact that Warner Brothers doesn't seem to trust their properties. And again, as somebody who's not doesn't know anybody who works for the studio, I don't work for the studio, I just kind of get this feeling that's the truth, that they really don't trust their product.
yeah.
Again, and this is the thing, is that Warner Brothers is still trying to get that $1 billion superhero movie,
Yeah.
and anything that's not $1 billion is a failure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at example right now, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
Volume 2.
Yeah, they were pushing half a billion
Half
after the
billion.
first weekend.
Half a yeah,
half a billion.
and they're just a little over half a billion at this point. I mean, they're not a $1 billion movie,
No.
but they're still considered a success.
Oh yeah, and by the time you take this movie to Blu-ray and home video,
Yeah, it'll definitely. But
it's going to surpass it.
oh yeah, I mean, it could possibly be a $1 billion movie. But the thing about it is, if it doesn't turn into a $1 billion movie, Disney and Marvel, they're not going to freak out.
No, they're not going to sweat it.
Yeah, they just like stock markets. You diversify. You don't have to make $1 billion out of one single movie.
Yeah.
Now, so Guardians of the Galaxy is not by any stretch of the imagination. If that were a Warner Brothers film, Warner Brothers would be panicked right now. They're like,
yeah.
they would be freaking out. And Marvel, they're like, it doesn't have to be $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, it made its money back.
Yeah.
I mean, and in all fairness, it's made more money in the box office than Batman v Superman did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like Warner Brothers. They're focused to one mistake I feel like they made. They focused on Justice League to a point where they've kind of forgotten about Wonder Woman, and it's like you should have done
It's
that.
almost like they got to just skip over. So
They skipped over her to get to this.
Yeah.
They only really made Wonder Woman because, well, well, Marvel, they make these movies, and so we need to make them just like Marvel
Yeah,
makes them.
and
So
that's unfortunate because bottom line, Wonder Woman is the coolest female superhero of all time.
absolutely,
And I love Marvel. I love Black Widow. I love Scarlet Witch.
yeah,
I love
Captain
the
Marvel will, I think, will be a good film. But
Yeah.
let's face it, if you say female superhero, Wonder Woman's going to be the first.
Oh yeah, top of the line. I
Yeah,
mean,
no
it's-
question.
It's the one that people love, and getting back to just you're talking about all these reshoots. What scares me with that is, from what I understand, there was a lot of reshoots with Suicide Squad last fall.
Yeah, and
before it was released, and look what we got there. I mean,
Yeah,
it
well,
was a movie that I loved in theaters.
Yeah.
And then after I digested it and saw it again, I was like,
yeah.
this movie had so many plot holes that I just don't know where to start.
Well, when you have two different companies doing the edit, and then you try to cram these two films together into one film. Yeah, you're going to have those kind of problems. I mean, reshoots can be very helpful.
Yeah.
They can make a movie better, but they can also make a movie worse.
Oh, yeah.
And again, when you have Warner Brothers, it just seems to me like they don't have a lot of faith in this franchise. It just feels like they don't have a lot of love for it either. I think they're doing it for the money. They're like, we want $1 billion franchise. We want billions of dollars out of these movies, but they don't have the passion. And I think that's the difference. In Marvel, there's no side movie for them.
Oh, no, they're going
whatever their next movie is, that's their
they
passion
put everything
project.
into it.
Yeah.
And with DC, what I worry about is just the fact that if they don't put everything that they should put into Wonder Woman, and God forbid it flops, a fan like myself, it's going to take so much excitement away from me going back to see Justice League.
Yeah.
If this movie just doesn't give us,
They
what
need
it
Wonder
should.
Woman. But see, that's the thing. They need Wonder Woman to work.
They're going to knock it out of the park.
They need Wonder Woman to work because, I mean, in the past, they've had a shaky past, but they need, especially this year, they need to have that momentum going into Justice League.
Yeah, this is your setup. I mean, this is pretty much their Captain America going into an Avengers movie.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the red, white, and blue Wonder Woman, one of the most beloved American superheroes. You've got to knock her out of the park and just move on to Justice League.
Yeah, and honestly, it shouldn't be that hard.
No.
It really shouldn't be
No,
that
people
hard.
love Wonder Woman.
But I just kind of get this feeling that Warner Brothers considers the Wonder Woman movie kind of a side project,
and
it doesn't feel like it's not getting the push that Justice League is.
And Wonder Woman looks fun. The trailers, you see a lot of stuff going on between Diana and Steve Trevor, and it looks fun from what you're seeing. But I hope that that's not all the fun that we're seeing in the trailer, because that movie needs to be fun.
Yeah, I want to see Wonder Woman kick ass. I want this movie to do so well.
Yeah,
I just really do, and
it needs to be fun for little girls.
And believe me,
Little
I'll tell
boys-
you what. And if this movie does well, and it delivers, I mean, I will be shouting it from the rooftops.
Yeah, because
we will be talking about it. Yeah, we'll be talking about it here, and it'd be like, thank God, finally they've
done
delivered.
what they need to do. Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, this movie has so many things going for it. If it's done right, for one thing, little girls.
Oh yeah,
they can finally go see a superhero movie that's based off of who they want to be.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's great for a 10-year-old little girl. I've got 2 granddaughters, and I want them to be able to enjoy movies like this over the years. So I want it to be successful. So I can take them to see Wonder Woman or take them to see Miss Marvel. I mean, this is what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, I just hope it works.
Yeah.
But again, this has been a rough week. This has been a rough week for Warner Brothers. They've had a lot of rough weeks, but it's like 3 things in a row that just that make me worry that Warner Brothers is the way they're going to react to all of this is not going to be what's going to be in their best interest, or going to be in our best interest as fans.
Yeah.
I don't honestly. It's not like they're going to try to do a recut of Wonder Woman. It's way too late for that. But are we going to see a third cut of Justice League? Are they going to go in and shoot more scenes, or I hope not.
Well, I
really
do know one thing, that today they had released a Chinese trailer for Wonder Woman. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
Actually got a little teaser of Ares in it.
Oh, well, finally.
So we're actually getting a taste of that. But why in the world that's not being run here mainstream in the United States, I don't know. No. But the one with the Chinese subtitles, we get to see a little bit of Ares.
Yeah. Well, I know that there was a hint that maybe in the trailer that we saw that that Ares is in one of the scenes, but you don't. It's focused on her.
Yeah.
But you don't really know that's Ares. But
we're getting a little bit more with the Chinese release trailer.
yeah, I'll have to check. I'll definitely check that
Yeah.
out. So, okay, well that should do it for this week.
Okay.
And
I would like to apologize for not recognizing it was Charlize Theron I was talking about in Prometheus.
Charlize Theron.
So yes, that was her running from the ship in Prometheus.
Oh, yes.
And I couldn't remember her name. I was saying the blonde captain.
the blonde captain. So, well, that's it for this week. And next week, someone on the YouTube site gave us a suggestion. I think we may go with next week. So
Okay.
definitely tune in for that.
Cool.
But until next time, this is Brian J. Hatcher and with Tony Slack. Keep open, keep geeking out, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.